This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Good Monday afternoon. It is Wyoming Sports Talk Today for this wet, snowy Monday. Yes, it is springtime here in our part of the world, but sometimes hard to give the memo out to Mother Nature. Our program today being brought to you by Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. You remember at Mars, they're on the job 24/7. Don't hesitate to give them a call. Whatever. Whether it's a water heater, it's a heater, it's an air conditioner. Well, hopefully one of these days we'll get the air conditioner on. One of those apparatus not working, give them a call today at Mars Plumbing and Heating. Maybe the toilet's backed up. You never know. Mondello's Pizzeria over at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Joe and the gang over there pumping out some delicious Paisan cuisine 7 days a week. Over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, it's First Tier Bank right across the street where you can save big time. Well, actually, you can gain by getting their 27-month CD right now at an annual percentage yield of 3.1%. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, which is located over on Pershing Boulevard, the Auto Body Shop over on Dunn Avenue. Medigap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the modern way, and everything in between over on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where AJ's got a great stack of 19s on the lot right now from the entire Kia family. So again, check out the Kia of your dreams. Take a test drive. Take it home today. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. We're getting to the seasons of, well, let's just throw out graduations. Let Chick-fil-A come on by and cater your party. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. Remember them for 3 squares, Monday through Saturday. They're right across from Menards, Ray and Cindy's place, over the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, your home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. 18 still on the lot. They need to go. Specially priced right now. Special financing rates for the 19s as well at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And, of course, Taco John's of Cheyenne. You know what's coming up Sunday? Cinco de Mayo. And Taco John's, that's got some goodies coming up for Cinco de Mayo. We'll be hearing throughout the course of the week. Again, tomorrow, Taco Tuesday, always at Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne with Nick kicking things off.
Looking at this past weekend for local softball and baseball, we'll start with Cheyenne Extreme. We'll make it quick on this one as we'll talk with manager Adam Galicia in the Cheyenne Extreme coming up in hour number 2. But Saturday it was 2 victories for the Extreme. On Sunday it was 2 losses. So for the Cheyenne Extreme this past weekend, they moved to 12-5-1 overall. For the Cheyenne Mustangs, they were in action, at least splitting time between up in Casper down here in Cheyenne. Saturday's contest up in Casper, seeing the Casper Crush. Well, it was 2 losses for them. First game was 17-1 loss, and game number 2 up in Casper was a 12-2 loss for the Cheyenne Mustangs. Coming back down to Cheyenne to take on the Casper Crush once again on Sunday, and a doubleheader in that contest. Unfortunately, it was at least 1 loss for the Cheyenne Mustangs, as they lost 21-8. So the Cheyenne Mustangs so far on the season are 1-7 overall. Cheyenne Post 6, they were also up in Casper this past weekend on Saturday. 2 games in action. They won both of those contests. A 1-0 victory over the Jackson Giants and 11-1 victory over the Rock Springs Archie Hay team. Sunday's contest at Casper, at least against the Casper Oilers, they lost 10-3 in that contest and won against Sheridan 18-0. So for Cheyenne Post 6, they are 6-1 on the season. For AHL hockey action from this past weekend, Bakersfield Condors move on in their series as they defeat the Colorado Eagles 3 games to 1 in that 5-game series, with Saturday's win over Colorado Eagles 5-2. So the Eagles season does come to an end. And last but not least, in NHL action for tonight, 1 game on the slate. It will be the Dallas Stars at home. They'll play host to the St. Louis Blues, and you can catch that game on NBC Sports Network. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, the Athletics will tangle with the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Games that'll be getting underway just as we leave. Cardinals and the Nats at Nats Park. It will be the Reds and the Mets at Citi Field. Padres and the Braves at SunTrust Park in Cumberland, Georgia. Rockies at 5:40 will match up with the Brewers at Miller Park. Also at 5:40, the Astros and the Twins at Target Field. 6 o'clock games will have the White Sox hosting the Orioles and the Royals hosting the Rays. Dodgers and the Giants will hook up tonight in San Francisco at Oracle Park. Over to the NBA slate. Here's what's happening for this evening. This will be a game one. Game one. The Denver Nuggets tonight in the can. They will play host to the Portland Trailblazers. That'll be at 8:30. That's the Western Conference semifinals. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, prior to the Nuggets game, Toronto leading this best-of-7 series 1-0. Game 2 will be in the Scotiabank Arena between the Raptors and the 76ers. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity. With Laramie County Community College, you can discover the best version of yourself. It's time to take on new challenges, to enrich your life, and to create the future you deserve. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Apply today. Visit lcc.wy.edu/yourstory.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Fish and shrimp are back. They're back. They're back at Taco John's. Come get them by the sack. Because they won't last long. Hooray! Hooray! Crispy fish tacos, popcorn shrimp street tacos too. Hurry to Taco John's because they're back. It's true. Hooray! For fish and shrimp. Hurry today. Hooray! For Taco John's. Come eat them every day.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, cloudy with snow. Expected daytime high of 31. New snow accumulation 2 to 4 inches possible. Snow likely for tonight with our low down to 28 degrees. New snow accumulation 3 to 5 inches possible. For Tuesday, cloudy with the rain and snow showers mixed. We're calling for a daytime high of 39. And for Tuesday night, we're calling for cloudy skies with a chance of rain and snow mixed. Our low down to 28 degrees.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
And good Monday afternoon, Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. It is Wyoming Sports Talk today. I don't know, senior pro man here feeling a little bit under the weather. I don't know, it's got to be the change in weather, Nick.
Boo-hoo.
No, I'm not boo-hooing. It's just like, golly, we just can't get.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. Here it is around, 2 days away from beginning of May, and it's snowing, predicted to be an inch of snow, or at least more than an inch, I should say, a foot of snow here in Cheyenne. At least it's a storm that's going across the state of Wyoming, but, it's been 70s, and now it's below freezing. Go figure at this point in time.
I was playing down in Thornton yesterday afternoon, and it was nice to start off with. And then all of a sudden, the cold wind came in. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. And, I mean, you want to talk about temperature dropping about 25 degrees yesterday. Holy cow. Hey, on the program today, he's currently on the clock, and hopefully we'll be hearing from former Wyoming Cowgirl basketball coach Joe Legerski joining us. We will also
he's in retirement mode right now, so he's kind of taking his time.
Well, he's got to catch that last trout there, on the river, then come on in, and then give us a call. Also, we'll have Cheyenne Extreme manager Adam Galicia and catcher Alexis Naughton joining us today on the program as we continue on with our Monday segment.
We'll even have a post-game conference from head coach Jared Bednar here about the Avs picking up the victory over the San Jose Sharks as that series is tied 1-1, moving back here to the Pepsi can. So hear his thoughts. He had a lengthy press game, conference, and just talk about of them coming back in that contest, getting the win. Again, it was a close victory, 4-3, where now the Avs have all the momentum heading back for 2 games straight there at the Pepsi Center. So interested to at least hear his thoughts on everything.
Well, the entire Stanley Cup playoffs, and I think you'll agree with me, and I'm not going to go further into this because we'll save a lot for the Avs, but, I mean, Carolina up 2-0 on the Islanders, picking up 2 wins.
They're
the Islanders' home place.
Series tied between Dallas and St. Louis. That doesn't surprise me a whole lot, but
Columbus and Boston.
That one is a bit again. Series tied 1-1. I figure Columbus would be up 2-0, but that's going to be competitive. Again, 1-1 right now. It is what we're seeing out of the final. At least 8 teams here in the NHL. It really is anyone's to win. Carolina even being up 2-0, there's nothing that says that the Islanders can't come back in that series. It's going to be really tough. I think Carolina's proven right now they are a team that they're playing like a team that doesn't care. Or I wouldn't say doesn't care, but has nothing to lose at this point. They've already passed. Again, they've already upset the defending Stanley Cup champions, that is the Washington Capitals. Here they are in round number 2 where
they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, they're not even supposed to be there, and not a whole lot of people anticipated that they were going to be there. So right now, this is all bonus time. Same for Columbus, same for the Avalanche, same for the Dallas Stars. But again, all series except for the Carolina one is, again, it's a toss-up of who will win this thing. Not really sure at this point. Sharks, even in the Avs and Sharks series, Sharks came out hot in game 1, and it looked like, oh no, Sharks are going to take care of business. The Avs were pretty much, it looked like that time off. The Avs had no shot in this series. Well, they came back and at least got competitive again, got the 4-3 victory.
We'll save all that for later. We'll hear the comments from the head man of the Avalanche, Jared Bednar. It was sad to hear that you mentioned that Bakersfield took care of the Eagles, because for them not being in postseason anymore it's kind of like, wow, we're so used to them winning. And
you expect them to go deep in the playoffs, but again, this is a higher league.
And the Condors are very good.
They won the Pacific Division. They are the best team, or at least they're the second best team behind Chicago Wolves in the West, but
they are going according to Hoyle, unlike their counterparts in the National Hockey League.
Yes and no. At least in the Pacific Division, people more led on that San Jose was going to move on past the San Diego Gulls, but instead you have a matchup of Bakersfield Condors versus San Diego Gulls for the at least Pacific Division, because again it does break down in the Western Conferences by Central, Pacific, and then eventually you meet East versus West for the Calder Cup. But right now, hey, it is what it is, and it looks like we got our caller right here.
All right, let's go to the phone line here. and welcome on our guest and say good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today, are we speaking with former UW Cowgirl basketball coach Joe Legerski?
How are we doing today?
We're doing good. Larry Peroletti along with Nick Peroletti and Joe Legerski. Coach, and again, and I still will use that term whenever I get that opportunity to see you. Let me ask you this question on the retirement. Is this something that was planned? You know, again, 500 games in your pocket as the head coach of the Cowgirls. Was this something that goes back prior to the season getting underway, or did you wake up one morning and say, you know what? You looked over at your wife and said, I'm done. I need to go get the fishing pole and the golf clubs out, and let's call it a career. What led to the retirement?
I think one of the things is you start, as you say, 500 games. It's a lot of games, 16 years at one school. In this profession, that seems to be a lifetime. Most people bounce around between schools, and it always seems you're building a resume. And I know after a year ago, my wife and I sat down after that season, and we just had a heart-to-heart talk, whether it was time, whether we should look to do something else, and where we're going here. And so, one day led to the next, and I just kept thinking about, what do I want to do? And I ended up telling my wife, I said, Jamie, I still want to coach. I still want to do this. I still believe I can have an impact. We're going to give this another year, but I'll revisit this at the end of every season moving forward. And so when we had this year, which just became a magical season, I mean, to go 25-9 when nothing was ever expected from that, to be at that level, this team just really worked so hard, got along so well, maybe the team that had the best chemistry I've ever been with. We sat down again and we said, now where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And let's talk. And I think the conversation became a little more serious this year than maybe in the past. And one of the things, Larry, that it came down to is we talked about having a little more flexibility in our life. I think about some of the things that all parents miss out on as you're going to work. And it doesn't matter what work you do. But I just know in our profession, from basically October to April, I'm tied to a team. I have a great story that my stepson was in the Sugar Bowl one year playing Alabama. And my whole family went down for about 4 days before in New Orleans. And somebody saw me and they said, are you going to be at the Sugar Bowl? And I said, no, we have a non-conference game the next day, so I can't go. And they said, you can't go? You have assistant coaches. And I go, no, that's not what we do. And they go, well, don't you have vacation days? Can't you just put in for vacation? And so a lot of times, I think our profession is not really understood by everyone. And that's something where I look back on, and my wife and I both decided that moving forward, we just wanted that flexibility. And so that's where the decision came from. It wasn't just wake up one morning, but it was never easy, I can tell you that.
Well, it's a profession, though, at least you talk about, Coach, where we've kind of alluded with you about talking about it at least last month, even here on the JUCO side with LCCC, or at least across the state of Wyoming. Again, it is a 365, 24/7 job where, again, once the season's over, you're out recruiting, or either during the season, you got to focus on your next opponent, practices, and all that fun stuff. And at least, again, for you at least in your coaching career, again, you've been at it since 1979, where there was starting out at Rock Springs High School, going to Western Wyoming Community College, being an assistant for the University of Wyoming, assistant for the University of Utah, and then being a head coach for the University of Wyoming. I mean, you've been at it for quite some time. So, again, on our side, Coach, we kind of get it of, hey, it is a full-time job, and it is year-round takes away, you don't really get a chance to take a breath and enjoy the kind of simple things of life.
Now, what we talk about is that you have to, like everyone out there, you've got to find the opportunities for you to get away. And it's there for everyone to look at. It's just, I I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Thanksgiving with my family. When you start thinking in those terms and going, what do you mean your family? And it's like, well, Thanksgiving weekend was always the big weekend where everybody played. And so you were always traveling. Now, my family became this team, and I could tell you all kinds of times that where we were at and having Thanksgiving dinner in a hotel with a team. And so I think it's some of those things that I look at. I told somebody that, yeah, we take about 3-4 days off for Christmas, and they go, wow, you're lucky. We get a day off. And I go, I understand that. It's a situation where now all of a sudden you can't leave the week before. And so there were things, and you're right, the recruiting piece has really changed everything. The transfers now, where you're really after transfer kids as they enter the portal system. And some of that has really changed where you're just constantly, when can I get somebody on campus? But, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm never out of the office. I never get a vacation. You never get a break. Yeah, there's times for that. But from October to the end of April, you're never away from it, and you're always looking to things. And we just wanted, as I said, for Jamie and I, wanted to have a little more flexibility to be able to do some things that maybe it's in November and you want to be able to say, go and see your children. All mine are grown now. They've moved away. They got their own lives, but maybe you want to have Thanksgiving with somebody there. And so those were the things we started looking at.
Former Wyoming Cowgirl basketball head coach Joe Legerski joined us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Coach, I hear it in your voice, and I know anytime that you step away, there's a range of emotions. The main emotion now for you and your wife to spend that quality time, and again doing the parent thing and possibly the grandparent thing down the road. But the point is, though, as I hear it in your voice, this was a tough decision to tell the University of Wyoming, which has been very special in your family's life for the last 16 years, that, hey, it's time for me to step away.
It really is. It's hard to even talk about it because it is that emotional. And with the players that I've been involved with, that was probably the most difficult thing, was letting the team know that you weren't going to be the coach next year. And I got great text messages back from them, how they understood. But as I told them, I said, I thought about staying one more year for my junior class that would have been upcoming seniors. Then you think about your freshmen, and you go, well, let me stay 3 more years for them. And then you think about the kids coming in. And now all of a sudden it's a 4th year. And the next thing you know, you're 66, 67 years old, and you're starting to talk about, well, when are you going to retire? When do you step aside? And so this just seemed to be the right time. Now, definitely, it's going to be different. Not driving in, walking into this place, sitting in this office. Anytime you're somewhere 16 years, boy, that's a difficult phase to go through. Going to be very difficult when next fall rolls around and I'm not associated with a team. I've been doing this, as you said, since 1979. You're looking at 40 years of having a team to mold, mentor, and try to figure out how you were going to win games. So there's no doubt there's some adjustments I'm going through. But, I'm going to be pulling for the Cowboys and the Cowgirls and hoping things go well at Wyoming, and maybe a situation I lost today. You're right. I became a grandparent 2 weeks ago to twins, and I shot them a video of, I don't know what it's like in Cheyenne today, but it's snowing here in Laramie. And I shot a video to them, and they started laughing because they shot their video back, and it's 75 degrees where they live in California. And so it was just kind of funny to talk about different things that I'll be able to move forward with and maybe be able to spend a little more time with family.
It's interesting in this state, population a little over 500,000, each corner of the state and everything in between. How many lives you touched throughout your coaching career, and I'm talking fans in general. Maybe not everybody made it to a Cowgirl game, but for some reason, when Joe Legerski took over the basketball program and immediately put the Cowgirls on the Wyoming, the state of Wyoming map. And you mentioned with the text messages that you're receiving, I'm sure you're receiving a lot of outpouring of support too, thanking you for all that you did for the Cowgirl program.
I really have. It's as I always say, we're one state, one university. Everybody's pulling for this institution, and not everybody can make it to games, but everybody knows what's going on. And so, I started my career, as you mentioned, at Rock Springs High School. So there's so many people I got a chance to meet throughout this state, whether you were playing up in Cody or Powell, all the way over in Sheridan, Gillette, Casper, down into Cheyenne. And so I think it was a thing when I came back, there were so many connections to begin with, and then with the success we had. When you fill this place with 15,000 people for the WNIT championship game, I think that was something that was really had the fans embrace this program. Some of the things that we did, signing autographs at the end of every game, that was something unique at the time, and now you're seeing more and more teams do that. But we did that from day one, where we wanted to make sure the fans could come down and see us. I never talked to my team until the next day, so those were some different things, but that's how we wanted to embrace the fans. And, yeah, a lot of people have reached out. There's people, and the interesting part is everyone at the end is saying, sorry to see you leave, but happy for you. And I think that's the thing, is everybody understands we all work to try to reach that point in time. And in this coaching profession, Larry, you know as well as I do, not very many of us get to go out on our own terms. Usually there's some administrator calling you to their office and talking about a coaching change, and that they're headed in a new direction. And it's just kind of nice that I'm able to make that determination on my own. And I know everybody goes, you may not be fired. You just never know when you're a coach. You know what you signed up for to begin with. Had way too many colleagues get called in and released. And so it's kind of nice that I'm able to do this on my terms.
And again, looking back at your career, Coach, 314 wins, NCAA appearance, WNIT appearances aplenty, a WNIT championship back in 2007. Coach, a little tongue-in-cheek question, and it's something that I asked when we last talked to you about a month ago, but again, you kind of alluded to that you were going out fishing when you had a chance from recruiting, but now you don't really have to worry about recruiting. You don't really have to worry about setting up schedules or any of that fun stuff that goes with coaching anymore. But, I mean, now that you're retired, what's on the agenda for you now, Coach? Is it to head out to California, take a trip to Hawaii, go see across the world? I mean, what's kind of on the agenda now for Joe Legerski?
Well, the biggest thing is take a deep breath and just relax. As I said, you're right. If I was still the coach, we'd have been out recruiting over this weekend. I'd be right now at conference meetings in Phoenix, Arizona for the next 2 days. And then you had another recruiting period in May, trying to get kids in for visits. So it had really been wrapped up. But what's going to be is that I'm going to sit here and take some time, go, as you say, go see my children. I got a son graduating from college here shortly. I know this fall I have a daughter getting married, so that's going to keep us busy. And then, as I said, I became a grandparent to twins. I haven't had a chance to get out and see them yet, just winding everything down. So that's going to be on the agenda for me. And so there's some different things, but I think the biggest thing is I'm finishing up everything here this week at the university, and then I'm going to just take a deep breath and go, all right, what do we do next? And as I've told people, I'm still too young just to sit and get up every morning and have a cup of coffee and wonder what I'm going to do for the day. So you never know where you may see me appear again, what I may be doing, but I know this much. It's going to be in a position that's a little more flexible than what basketball's done for me.
Joe, final thought from me, and again, thank you for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Obviously, Tom Berman now has the pressure to bring on your replacement. And again, obviously, there's a very good committee over there at the University of Wyoming that will select the person to take over for you. Will you have any say-so? Have you made any recommendations? Can you give us some thoughts? I'm assuming that Tom's email and phone has been probably exploding since your announcement.
Yeah, I think this is a desirable job. I mean, we have a great core returning next year. When you take a look at our whole backcourt with Carl Arovitz, Taylor Russ, Quinn Weideman coming back, I think there's a lot of interest in this. But personally, I have no say in the decision that's going to be made. I would definitely like to see someone from my staff. I know my associate head coach, Gerald Mantinson, has been with me for 16 years. And so I'd really like to see somebody bumped up from this staff. I know the players would. I always say that if you like the direction the program's going, then keep it going in that direction. I know whoever sits in this chair will do their different things. They'll want to put their stamp on it. But if you get somebody from my staff, I think we've been pretty successful over time, and they can keep it rolling, and the players will feel comfortable with having somebody from our staff.
Well, we want to thank you here from Wyoming Sports Talk today, and again, thank you so much for all that you did for the basketball program, and again, being a very special guest to us here on our program.
Well, gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for all the years you put me on the radio. You let Cowgirl basketball get out amongst your listeners and gave them a little insight into what was going on. So I thank you for that, and I wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. All right. Former Wyoming Cowgirl basketball head coach Joe Legerski on retirement as he joins us live from Laramie this afternoon. Where, hey, believe it or not, Nick, it's snowing over there. Wonder what it's doing here.
Yeah, yippee.
It's snowing as well, too. So,
need to take a break.
Yeah.
And we'll break down his comments, but also to get into more talk about Joe Legerski of something that we've alluded to maybe a few months ago, but now since it's a reality of, give our thoughts on things.
All right, well, let's take a time out. We will be right back. Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield.
At Medigap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medigap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medigap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. This week's Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Jim Beam Bourbon, 1.75-liter bottle, $23.99. Busch or Busch Light, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $19.99. And Captain Morgan Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $19.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today as we talk to former Wyoming Cowgirls basketball coach Joe Legerski, who will be turning 62 this summer. Matter of fact, his birthday is like about 20 days before mine, so that's one thing we have in common. We'll both be 62 this year. I like the one comment that Joe made to us this afternoon, and the comment was, I got to do it on my own terms.
Yeah.
He didn't get called in, like
Didn't
you
get
said,
fired.
He didn't get called
again.
in any office or wasn't under any gun or any deal.
There was no reason after this season going, as he mentioned, just how well they did, again, making it to the Mountain West, at least tournament championship game, NIT appearance where they made it pretty far, made it to the Elite Eight. Again, 25-9. There was no speculation or no reasoning why, if it was kind of pushing him out because he was on the way out of the University of Wyoming. No, there was no question about that. But again, 16 seasons, 314 wins for 186 losses, which again, in a winning percentage about 62%, 63%, not too shabby. Not too shabby in women's basketball here in the state of Wyoming in the Mountain West Conference. So.
And matter of fact, his first season when he started the Cowgirls, he was under the Mendoza line. So that tells you how many great seasons that he had after that. I mean, it was, win-win, and then all of a sudden it's
in 16 seasons, he had 3 sub-500 seasons.
Yeah, and then he also had, 10 postseason appearances, too.
Yeah, where you look at the WNIT, he went 16-7 in those contests, 0-1 in the NCAA appearance where they did lose to Pittsburgh, I do believe. But again, the one in lone NCAA tournament appearance for the Wyoming Cowgirls came under Joe Legerski. But again, a guy who's been in coaching, or at least has had some form of coaching since 1979, where he started out, where again, he is from Rock Springs, had coaching at least there for the Tigers of Rock Springs, whether it was boys or girls, staying in Rock Springs with Western Wyoming Community College, then coming over to Laramie to be an assistant for the University of Wyoming, going to Utah for a bit, and then becoming the head coach in 2003. So again, he's been at it for quite some time.
How about 4 decades? That makes it sound even lengthier than just being at the helm 16 years for the Cowgirls. I mean, that's how long he's been in the coaching business.
But it's something we talked about about a couple months ago, where we talked about the 300th win, and we got him on to speak about, hey, you got 300 wins, and just kind of congratulate him on it. But it was a conversation afterwards of, is Joe Legerski Hall of Fame worthy? He will be. Now, there's no doubt about it there at the University of Wyoming.
Absolutely.
He will be recognized in some way, some fashion there at the University of Wyoming. There's no doubt about it. But in a national spotlight, the question is now, again, where we now have a definitive answer where his career is done. Again, head coaching for the University of Wyoming, it is done after, he announced that he's retired. It now brings up the question, though, again, this is just talk for us to have a little fun. Does Joe Legerski kind of care about it? Again, he's humbled enough where I think he would appreciate the option to be inducted in a National Hall of Fame, but I don't think it really is something that he would hold his hat on. But for us, to discuss it for Joe Legerski, again, where we talk about what he did for the University of Wyoming here in the Western States, here in the Mountain West Conference, of putting this team on the map, again, making it kind of a sort of semi-powerhouse, where, again, this is a program, the Wyoming Cowgirls basketball, that, as we've said year in and year out, you expect them to win. You expect them to have postseason berths. You expect them to do something special in the Mountain West tournament. You have high expectations for this team year in and year out. Yes, it is not like UConn. Those are the powerhouse. Notre Dame. You look at Baylor as well. Yes, those are the Power 5 elites, and you got to respect that. But here in the mid-majors, here in the Mountain West, Wyoming was always that upper echelon team where other teams kind of strive to be at. Strive to be what Joe Legerski was doing for the Wyoming Cowgirls. But as you look at what he did for this program, a lot of firsts, a lot of historic implications for the Wyoming Cowgirls basketball program. On a national scale, though, did he do enough to get national recognition to be a head coach in the Women's Hall of Fame? At least in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, did he do enough to get that national recognition? I absolutely. I think, why not?
Yeah, and again, I don't know what the criteria is. Again, like we say with Major League Baseball, 3,000 hits should be enshrinement into the Hall or hitting 500 home runs. But again, I don't know what the parameters are. We know definitely at UW that will be that's a given right there for what he has done in his career. I would think, and again, too, the NCAA would look at big and small schools alike.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
To reward accomplishments. And I think in the case, too, again, we're talking about Wyoming, one university in one state. And again, then you look at, the competition that Joe Legerski was getting his teams involved with in his career. I mean, it's not like they played a lot of rollover and played dead teams. They played very competitive basketball.
They played it in special tournaments as well, too, whether it was non-conference, again, postseason with the NIT, and also, too, again, making the one NCAA tournament. But, again, you look at what Joe Legerski did for this program and what he has meant to the state, meant to that college as well, too. It is something where will the Women's Hall of Fame, which is located in Knoxville, Tennessee, would they take a look at it? Would the NCAA give that respect? I would think so. I would hope so. But is it something that it is the million-dollar question right now of will he get that respect? Should he deserve that respect? Absolutely. But it is, will he get that respect from the Hall of Fame? To be determined. You really don't know, again, without knowing the parameters. And it does look, as I'm looking at a few classes where first class that was ever inducted for the Women's, at least, Hall of Fame was in 1999. So it isn't something that has not existed for quite some time. It is still relatively in its infancy. So, again, who knows who is kind of in the front before Joe Legerski to get into the Hall of Fame. But I think he is someone that, as we mentioned months ago, and now we have the definitive answer where his career is done, and these are the solidified numbers, that yes, I think absolutely he needs to be considered. I think absolutely yes. I think he has done enough to get that recognition to be enshrined in a national Hall of Fame.
And again, too, like you said, Nick, 314 wins over a 16-year stretch. So, break down the numbers. That's just under 20 wins per season. So that's, those are good numbers. Again, like I said, if you run apples and oranges here, comparing it to baseball, is it comparable to 3,000 hits or hitting 500 home runs? Absolutely. I think.
Here's an example of Rick Insell, head coach, at least former head coach for Middle Tennessee in Conference USA. His record, he was enshrined, duly 2 years ago in the Women's National Hall of Fame. He had a record with Middle Tennessee of 317 wins and 110 losses. So winning percentage a little bit better than Coach Legerski. But again, he did hit that 300 win mark, and it was enough to get him in. But also, too, this is an outfit, Middle Tennessee, is a look that made a lot of NCAA appearances, did not go far in the NCAA tournaments. But again, that's just one example.
But you look at the coaches prior to Joe Legerski's reign at the University of Wyoming. And one of the more successful ones prior to Joe Legerski was Chad Lavin. Well, Chad didn't even get anywhere near the postseason appearances that Coach Legerski did. And again, I think that would, if we're going to use, talking points, this would be one of the talking points. How many postseason appearances did small University of Wyoming get under the Joe Legerski regime? And out of his 16 years, he was in postseason 10 times. Basically, you could say if you played basketball for Joe Legerski at the University of Wyoming, you were going to be involved in extra playing time at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So I would think down the road, Nick, I don't know when, don't know where, but, maybe in Knoxville one day he's going to get the call saying, hey, Coach, we're enshrining you into the National Hall of Fame. And I think that would be a true honor, and I think it would be a big boost for the university as well as the state of Wyoming, that one of our own being recognized for the great job that was done over 16 years at the University of Wyoming.
Yeah, 16 years where you look at previous head coaches where, again, this is a program that at least started up in 1973, so has not been as long as their men counterpart or other programs across the nation. But again, you look at it where, again, 16 seasons for 314 wins. He, at least at this point, even though...
he has the all-time wins, Mark.
He has the all-time wins for the Wyoming Cowgirls. Winning percentage, unfortunately, does not have that due to one season by Bonnie Holstrand, who was one season, the inaugural season for the Wyoming Cowgirls, went 11-4, so she does have the winning percentage, so there is that. But, I mean, for 16 seasons, though, he was at the top again for about a 63% winning percentage. Again, he cruises over every other head coach that has been for the Wyoming Cowgirls, and without a doubt, he has to be considered. Is he a guaranteed Hall of Famer? It is a big question mark, but in our opinion, I think obviously here in the state of Wyoming, I think he does deserve that national recognition of what he did to this program to make it not a national powerhouse, but it is a school that is respected. It is a school that is known across the NCAA. It is also to a program under these past 16 seasons that is expected to be doing, at least be within, fighting competition, be postseason bound, have high expectations. He put that for the Wyoming Cowgirls. So it'll be interesting to see of how long, if at all, it happens. When does it happen? Again, a lot of question marks.
And right now, we just let him retire and enjoy, but a few days away from basketball. I'm sure we'll see him in the stands. And again, too, you saw him during your run with Chris during high school basketball.
Oh, obviously, because it was Laramie.
We've seen him, sneak around at a JUCO game when he's had some time off. Yeah. I mean, it for once he could go to a game to be a fan.
Yeah,
not to be there working.
Even though that's going to probably be on his mind, as it's kind of hard to turn that off, where he's probably going to still be in that scouting mode. But again, no longer has to do that in an official kind of position. But moving away from Joe Legerski again, it's sad news to hear that he retired. Did not anticipate that, especially where we did talk to him about a month ago, where his mind was already set on recruiting and focusing on next season. Talking about the seniors that he did lose, and then at least the potentials that were coming to the University of Wyoming to play for the Cowgirls next season. But it is what it is. But now we shift focus in something that you asked and something we alluded to last week. Right now for AD Tom Berman, he's got big time shoes to fill over there for the Wyoming Cowgirls. Is there going to be a microscope on him for this hire? Absolutely. I think absolutely if he does not make what is the state's interpretation of a good hire, it's not going to do well for Tom Berman, who's already had kind of trying to find a better word than hate, but it certainly has gotten a lot of flack recent years from fans, from Cowboy fans, whether it is football, basketball, whatever it may be. He certainly have felt the pressure on some of these moves that they've been doing at the University of Wyoming. But now with the precious Wyoming Cowgirls program right now, where, like I said, for 16 seasons, we've expected winning. We've got winning out of this team, and you expect nothing best out of this program.
And now here's the question, though, and you heard Joe say this.
Will he go off of Joe's recommendation to go with the staff, which I would say hopefully he does. That would be the smart move to bolster one of those assistant coaches to that head coach role. It makes sense. But will he obviously he's going to entertain those national names that are going to be ringing in to be a part of the Wyoming Cowgirls,
or those that want to move up from, let's say the JUCO ranks,
D2, whatever it may be. Absolutely. But right now, I think of the hires that Tom Berman has had to do for the University of Wyoming. This is probably the biggest under his tenure right now, and a lot of pressure on Tom Berman.
No.
I think so. Again, this is
football coach.
This is a beloved program, though.
Yeah, I know, but your football and your basketball coaches are your two top hires.
You can't afford this program to take a back.
I agree with you. I'm not going to argue that fact, but never. And again, this is no disrespect, but your football coach. Again, you go to your top dollar sports. Football is your top dollar sport, followed by men's basketball. And now what Joe Legerski's done, he's elevated the women's program to being a top money maker as well. So I'm not going to take anything away from that. This is going to be a very important hire for Tom Berman. Whether he decides to hire within or does he go the national route, don't know. And again, he's going to have to make a decision here pretty doggone soon because we're into the recruiting portion of the schedule. All right, let's take a quick timeout. We come back and lead us to the top of the hour. We're going to hear comments from one Jared Bednar, the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, victorious last night in the South Bay area over the Sharks to draw even in their Western Conference second round. And we'll hear from the coach after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, cloudy with snow. Expected daytime high of 31. New snow accumulation 2 to 4 inches possible. Snow likely for tonight with our low down to 28 degrees. New snow accumulation 3 to 5 inches possible. For Tuesday, cloudy with the rain and snow showers mixed. We're calling for a daytime high of 39. And for Tuesday night, we're calling for cloudy skies with a chance of rain and snow mixed. Our low down to 28 degrees.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
That's what the impetus was to actually move Makar with Gerard. They obviously had a very good game together. It looks like a good decision now, but how much were you thinking about that?
Well, I touched on it this morning. I just thought that Makar, had a real good impact in last game, and I was expecting Gerard to be better after missing some time. He looked a little bit rusty. Tough to produce offense against this team. They check real hard, so getting those two guys together could help us as a 5-man unit and help produce offense. And then the second part of it was with Gerard out, Cole and Johnson were real good in the Calgary series, so we just thought we'd give it a try, and we liked what we saw, so it was probably go back to it.
Jared, that hit Matt Calvert took, A, how much does that mean, and B, how important do you think that was, especially looking back, knowing that that's what set up the game-winning goal?
Well, if you're going to win hockey games this time of year especially, you have to have an element of sacrifice to your game. And I think he knows it's coming. He gets his head up. He sees him coming, and he's got to hang on to the puck for a split second to draw him in and make sure he gets it by him and he takes a hit. I'm hoping he's okay and he'll be able to continue to play. But it's huge. It's what we want all our guys to do. Different situations, you have to sacrifice block shots, taking hits to make plays, and it's a tough physical game, and sometimes you got to suck it up. And I think that's exactly what he did. Exactly why our guys have so much respect for him, because he has that element to his game, not just in the playoffs, but all the time.
Hey there.
Hey.
What was your perspective on your second goal? It seemed like the Sharks on the ice were anticipating an icing call that didn't come.
Yeah. Look, my view of it was the exact same as the icing here the other night when Carlson had the inside track on Comfer and they're in a race and they blow it down for icing because Carlson had the inside path. And to me on this one, I'm just watching Mikko go up the ice. He's got a head of steam. He's getting to the right area. He's got the inside path on, I think it was Vlasic maybe on the post, and looks to me like Mikko's going to get there first, and they let it go. So to me, it's two similar plays. The guy on the inside got the call, and one is against us and one's in our favor.
Jared, defenseman Tyson Barrie and Brent Burns. Obviously, they're two dynamic D. If you could talk about Barry's game here today, and then looking forward to Game 3, how do you stop Burns?
Yeah, well, I mean, Barry was involved right from the start and got better as the game went on, getting up ice and sort of shrinking their offensive zone. Pucks would pop out, and he was on top of them, punching them back down low. It's how he gets his goal. He was real patient on the Landeskog goal. He has it. He's moving around the top, using the whole offensive zone. He's patient with it. He finds a lane. He gets it to the net when he sees Landy there, and he gets a tip on it. Two huge plays. Elite players, they find a way to generate offense even when the checking is tough, and that's what he did tonight. And again, sort of what Burns did. He gets his, on their first goal, I thought we were playing it perfectly. Mikko is all the way out to Burns. He gets within, 5 feet of him, and Burns finds a way to either, whether it goes through Mikko's legs or just by his one leg, to get to the front of the net. And we get beat on that box out, and there's a rebound, and they put it in. It's what we're trying to prevent. We didn't do a good enough job at the net, and Mikko has to try to find a way to get in that lane, but it's easier said than done when you're playing against a guy like Burns. He's going to make an impact. We're trying to minimize that impact on a nightly basis. And, I think the last goal, or their second goal, it's a tough break. I mean, he shoots it. We do everything right. Kerfoot gets in the lane, knocks his blade out of his skate. Carlson keeps it in. They go back to Burns. Well, Kerfoot's laying in the neutral zone with no skate blade. I mean, I don't know what else we can do on that. It's just a tough break.
Speaking of the game-winning goal, can you talk about Matt Nieto's effort on it? He's the one who cut off the pass there, and of course, he's the one who puts in the goal.
Well, great job reloading and keeping a puck alive in the offensive zone. I think, it's a quick shot from Barrie again, sees the guys open at the net. It's Calvert, and he stays on it. He has one chance on it that he tries to slip around him. He pulls it back and gets it through his 5-hole. But hanging around the front of the net and making sure we're paying the price to score those goals is important. It's tough to create offense against a real good team like San Jose, and you got to make sure that if there's pucks hanging around that net, we got to find a way to battle and punch them across the line, and that's what Nieto does there. He comes right into that area off the back post, and he stays there while Calvert's battling, and the second and third effort on that puck to put it behind it turns out to be a huge goal.
Last question, go answer.
Jared, just in terms of big picture, what changed there after the first period? You guys seemed much more active and effective in the second and third.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, we played hard in the first period, but they came at us and we competed hard in battles, but we weren't great with the puck. We didn't execute. We were doing a decent job of getting out of our zone, but then through the neutral zone, we got stubborn with it, and they did a nice job in their neutral zone forecheck and getting above checks, and then we tried to pick our way through a couple times, and we just weren't firm enough with the puck. We didn't put pucks in behind their defense and go to work. So you start turning 4, 5, 6, 7 pucks over in the neutral zone. Part of that's their doing, but part of that's on us too. We got to be more firm and get pucks below their goal line and get on the forecheck. We didn't do that. In the second period, that changed. I'm going to say we only had a couple turnovers through the neutral zone, and we were skating and starting to, get up on the forecheck and get into people a little bit more physical. And then we started to have more success because we spent more time in the offensive zone. So that's the biggest thing for me.
I'll let that gentleman, one last question, go ahead, sir.
Mahal from INDTV USA. In the first game, Sharks were able to really contain McKinnon and Lenskart line really well. What changed for you guys tonight? Because tonight Sharks had a lot of trouble with that.
Well, I think it's that, similar to what we just touched on. I thought our D, we turned over some pucks to the good on our side, checking some pucks back in the neutral zone. And I thought our D did a nice job pushing pucks back up the ice a little quicker as the game went on, second period especially, which gave us some rush opportunities. It gave us a chance to chip some pucks in behind their D that we could get on. And I thought McKinnon had real good speed through the neutral zone and started driving some pucks deeper into the offensive zone. And then we delayed on some. We took some around the back of the net. We had to chip some and get on the forecheck. But we were more committed to checking the puck back to go create scoring chances. And part of that starts with our back ends. Part of it starts with our execution and the pace that we want to play with. And that got better in the second period, so McKinnon and those guys were more dangerous. The D have a tough job. They're under duress back there from their forecheck, and they still got to find a way to make a play and deliver the puck to our forwards on time. And as the game went on, we got better at that, and that's why those guys generated more chances. If we get them the puck at the right time in the right situations, guys like Nate are going to, they're going to produce, but we have to do a good job as a team and make sure we get the pucks to those guys at the right time.
That's what the impetus was.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Menards, with 2 convenient drive-thrus serving up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way with the 2019 fleet and family of Kias on the lot right now, waiting for you to kick a few tires and take a test drive. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations, the original over on Vanda High and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Medigap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. And again, you can shop inside or go to the convenient drive-thru. Medigap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. First Tier Bank over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, across the street, open 7 days a week. It's Mondello's Pizzeria, Paisan cuisine at its finest. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, on the job 24/7, just for you and me. They're at 1515 Logan Avenue. And we get things underway. Hour number 2, it's time for our scoreboard, and it's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Up first, here's Nick.
From this past weekend for softball and baseball on the local side, we'll start with softball with the Cheyenne Extreme. We'll make it quick on this one as we will talk with manager Adam Galicia about what happened this past weekend. But it was 4 games on the slate for Saturday and Sunday, 2 on Saturday, where it was 2 victories for Cheyenne Extreme. On Sunday, however, it was 2 losses for the Extreme, and they are 12-5-1 on the season. The Shia Mustangs, they were in action this past weekend up in Casper and splitting time as well, coming back to Cheyenne. But Saturday's game up in Casper, doubleheader against the Casper Crush, where they lost 17-1. Game number 2 was a 12-2 loss. Coming back to Cheyenne for Sunday, one game, at least against Casper Crush, where they lost 21-8. For the Cheyenne Mustangs on the season, they are 1-7 overall. For Cheyenne Post 6, who were up in Casper as well, 4 games for them on Saturday and Sunday. 2 on Saturday, where it was a 1-0 victory against the Jackson Giants. 11-1 victory against Rock Springs. Moving to Sunday, where they lost 10-3 against the Casper Oilers and won 18-0 against the Sheridan Troopers, where the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers are 6-1 overall. Moving to AHL action from this past weekend, where the Colorado Eagles lose in their series, unfortunately, as they lose 3-1 against the Bakersfield Condors. On Saturday, it was a 5-2 win for the Condors, where, again, they will move on in the American Hockey League playoffs, where the Colorado Eagles season has come to an end. NHL action for tonight, Dallas Stars at home. They will host the St. Louis Blues, as that series is tied 1 game apiece, and you can see that game on NBC Sports Network. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
For Major League Baseball, the Swingin' A's of Oakland, they will be in Boston to take on the Red Sox at Fenway, 5 o'clock hour. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, the Cardinals and the Nationals at Nats Park in D.C. At Citi Field in New York, it will be the Mets hosting the Reds, Padres and the Bravos at SunTrust Park in Cumberland, Georgia, Rockies and the Brewers. That will be at Miller Park, 5:40 this evening. Kyle Freeland against Zach Davies for the Brew Crew. So, again, those are your pitching matchups. In the 5 o'clock hour as well, late 5 o'clock hour, Astros at the Twins. 6 o'clock hour, have the Orioles visiting the White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Also in the 6 o'clock hour, the Rays and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. And late night tonight in San Francisco at Oracle Park, it will be the Dodgers and the Giants renewing an old-fashioned rivalry. We go to the NBA slate on tap for tonight. It's a Game 1 for the Nuggets and the Trailblazers in the Western Conference semifinals, as the Nuggets will play host to the Trailblazers in the can at the Pepsi Center. They'll tap at 8:30 for this evening. And the 6 o'clock hour early game will have the 76ers and the Raptors again at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, with the Raptors leading that best-of-7, 1-0. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up!
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Do you want the peace of mind of a professionally installed security camera system? Then go with the name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Last play of the game, boys. Now they're expecting us to either run it or pass it. So instead, we're gonna do both. Like the new quesadilla taco at Taco John's. It's both a taco and a cheesy quesadilla. Taco and quesadilla. It's the perfect call.
Try Taco John's cheesy new quesadilla tacos stuffed with sirloin steak, chipotle chicken, pork carnitas, or classic beef.
Let's go quesadilla taco our way to victory.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, cloudy with snow. Expected daytime high of 31. New snow accumulation 2 to 4 inches possible. Snow likely for tonight with our low down to 28 degrees. New snow accumulation 3 to 5 inches possible. For Tuesday, cloudy with the rain and snow showers mixed. We're calling for a daytime high of 39. And for Tuesday night, we're calling for cloudy skies with a chance of rain and snow mixed. Our low down to 28 degrees.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
On a day like today, it's snowing, it's wet, it's cold, and that makes me think of extreme baseball, softball. And it's time to bring on head coach, 18 under head coach Adam Galicia.
I was going to say, first question, are we having practice today? Did we cancel? I mean, what happens today?
No, the city would cancel us out no matter what today. But
you got to do, if you do anything, it's going to be indoors. But, you know, I mean, there's so many distractions in any type of program, whether it's extreme or, you know, the Legion program, whatever the case may be. And as a coach, it's got to drive you nuts because, again, you just don't, you know, fly by the seat of your pants. You've got a schedule put together. Here's what I want to get accomplished. You're looking at your notes from this past weekend, and Mother Nature is just not cooperating with you.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You know, like tomorrow, we're supposed to have weather going into tomorrow, so now we're going to have to shift gears and probably move our practice session indoors, which limits some of the stuff we can do by not being outdoors, you know, and so it's tough. And I talked to the girls out there this last weekend about things we need to work on, and being due to the competition level we face, it exposed a lot of some of our weaknesses right now.
You know, Nick and you and myself, we were talking here during the break. You go 2-2 in this tournament over the weekend. From a coaching standpoint, things, because again, you're still learning your team. You have veteran players along with new players that have made the roster. But what things are you learning about your team, especially from a tournament this weekend?
Well, you know, going into this last weekend, we talked last week with you guys in competition level. We were stepping up in competition. One thing the girls learned, or we really tried to reinforce, is the speed of the game gets quicker, the better competition you see. You know, when a girl lays down a bunt, she's getting out of that box pretty quick, and so your footwork's got to be a lot quicker. There's a few defenses we have to start working on now that the girls are starting to get comfortable where we're at. You know, some of the batting lineup and stuff like that, people are starting to work itself out now. So we're kind of knowing where people are settling in. So now it really allows us more time to focus on the little things.
But looking at this past weekend, though, down there in Loveland, Colorado, a mixture between those A and B teams, looking at a few contests, Rocky Mountain Thunder, where you defeated them 12-1. Colorado Pony Express, which is an 18A team, you won 9-3. This is scores off of Game Changer. But again, you look at also too the USSSA Pride Elite. That's a 18A team. You lost 5-4. Colorado Warriors, you lost to them 4-2. Again, where you're competing against those higher level teams, though, even if they are 2 losses, though, you're still competitive. You're still competing very well with these upper echelon team, so to speak, down there in the state of Colorado.
Oh yeah, you know, I was pretty pleased with what we're doing. Like I say, there's a lot of things we have to work on. Even in those 2 games we lost, you're talking 2 or 3 plays made the difference in those games. You know, not getting up out of the box or something, quick feet, allow them to get 1 or 2 runners in scoring position when normally we wouldn't. So it's just, like I said, the speed of the game.
Adam Galicia, head coach of the Extreme 1800 program. And again, Coach, you've been there. You I mean, you've matched and you've rubbed shoulders with these A teams, so you know what it's all about. You've had programs like that through your career with the Extreme. How do you get your young ladies? And again, we're still waiting on getting the whole squad together, for a regular.
To use a Coach Craig Bull, we're waiting for the cavalry to come.
Yeah, we're waiting for the cavalry to come. But the bottom line is, how do you get them to that next level?
And that's on the coaches. It's on me and my assistant to get the drills going, to incorporate them into our practice sessions coming up. A lot of drills. We have a lot of different things to make our feet quicker, get our reaction time quicker. The ball, when our pitchers are pitching, the balls are coming off the bat a little bit quicker with these more experienced teams. So it's more a lot of speed drills at practice.
As we talked with you last week, as you alluded to, this past weekend's tournament, about 22 teams were expected to play, including the Cheyenne Extreme down there in Lubbock, Colorado. Is it too early here in the season to expect college scouts out here to look at some of these teams, including the Cheyenne Extreme, or did we happen to see a few scouts out there possibly recruiting some talent from, including the Cheyenne Extreme?
Right now it's a little early. You're probably looking in the middle of May for things like that to start happening. I mean, the college coaches are still they're heavily involved in their programs. The JUCO coaches finish a little bit sooner, and then you got all the D1, D2 programs that are going just a little bit longer. But maybe towards the end of May you start seeing those kind of coaches, at the tournaments and stuff. But it's still a little early right now.
It's interesting this weekend. Matter of fact, like we were just talking with Coach Legerski, get a chance to spend some time with the family because you get one of those rare weekends off here in the season. Explain to us why the Extreme will not be in action this weekend.
Yeah, so we have all the high schools have their prom coming up this weekend, and fortunately this year it's a good thing is they're all having it the same weekend. The last couple of years it seems like one's one weekend, one's another weekend. So this year they're all the same weekend. This year the girls kind of talked me into letting them have the weekend off. Normally in the past, we still play prom weekend, and it's kind of the competition, to be out there with the nails on and the hair, the 10 pounds of hairspray in and stuff like that. But this year we'll be taking it off.
Do you worry at all having that week off? Again, we're talking right now where we're seeing weather's a little hectic right now with the snow. You already missed out on a tournament about a couple weekends ago due to weather. Had an exhibition 2 weekends ago. Again, you've kind of played a little bit sporadic here in the early parts of the season. Does this hinder the Extreme, or is it a little bit beneficial where, again, you don't have your full team out, so we just kind of put things on the back burner so, we'll play more games once we have our full team out there for the Extreme?
It's different every year for different teams. I think for this team this year, the more time we get on the field, the better, so it could be a little bit of hindrance. We got a Gearing team that's wanting to come up playing doubleheader this coming Sunday, so that'll give us a little bit of competition level. I mean, there's nothing like playing live, where people want to actually get you out or people want to score runs. So hopefully we're able to make that happen. So it won't hinder us. It shouldn't hinder us too much.
With this week right now, and again, a lot's going to be taken away from the kids just simply for the fact that Mother Nature is going to win. But this also tells me, too, how far behind the time Cheyenne is. Because, again, these A programs, as you go down south, they're going to be able to sneak indoors at other facilities. You're going to have to find, a gymnasium possibly to sneak in and get some work done. And obviously you can't hit, softballs around in there. You're going to have to, alter it around with wiffle balls or some type of rubber balls, so to speak. But doesn't it just kind of just yell out to the city, hey, we need something for everybody indoors?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look at the top programs in Colorado, Nebraska, any of the surrounding states, they have all indoor facilities that they can go work out in. So it's nice when you have a program like that, especially it's controlled by that program. Like I said, we'll be looking for a gym. We'll have to use our indoor equipment, which is okay. We still get reps and stuff, but it's not the same. When you're on a gym floor, it's never the same as being out on the dirt.
Would you be able to, again, this is kind of an interesting question for you, Adam, but at least as we're looking for indoor facilities, we do know for Cheyenne Post 6 and that family, they do have the Wyco indoor, at least, facility. Is this something where you could talk with Ty Lane and those folks over there at Post 6 of saying, hey, we love your facility, we need help as well, or at least we need some sort of indoor practice. Can we use a little bit of that time? Is that something where we could find some kind of mutual partnership with, Post 6 or whoever in town?
And actually, they are normally pretty good with us. We actually utilize their hitting facility down on South Greeley during the winter. So we usually spend 6-7 months hitting in there. Once we get to this time of the year, we kind of go away from. There's things we can do indoors that'll suffice. It's not the same as being in there, but they get real busy this time of the year. So it's hard to squeeze in right now.
Coach, after you get done with proms this weekend, what are we looking at after that?
So like I said, hopefully the girls have their proms this Saturday. Hopefully we'll get that doubleheader finalized for Sunday afternoon with Gehring coming to town. And then we have a couple tournaments following that up the next 2 weekends. Next weekend is TNT, I believe, and that should be another open tournament. And then following that with another tournament in Colorado. And then we have some graduations that start. Right. So
and Nick also mentioned too, again with the TNT, you'll be seeing some of the same teams that you saw this past weekend.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's our goal for this last weekend was to get into the championship bracket, the gold bracket, and the girls did a good job of making that happen. Played well on Saturday, and you always want to face a top level competition. We can't, with our hopes, with us planning to go to the World Series this year. You want to see the best competition you can in preparation for that.
Looking at that Gehring contest, if it is a possibility coming up this Sunday, are we looking at the same with the Wyo Pride of an exhibition, or will these be contests that reflect towards kind of the official record for the Cheyenne Extreme?
Oh yeah, well, if that happens, it'll definitely go towards official record. I mean, we'll be out there, we'll have umpires, we'll have everything out there, and we'll definitely move on just like it's a regular game.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach, for joining us. Adam Galicia, head coach of the 18 and under Cheyenne Extreme. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We're going to talk with catcher Alexis Naughton after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medigap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly. And then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medigap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medigap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. or call 635-3712. Looking for an IT company with friendly, local customer service and the expertise to handle any job? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. We handle everything from business network management to personal computer problems to same-day phone and tablet repairs. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being, local, polite, and eager to help. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry and Nick Perlotti, along with Alexis Naughton, who joins us. And it's nice to say this, too. Wrapping up her sophomore year at Cheyenne East as school year is winding down. And as we were talking off air, you had a chance to play on the sophomore basketball team. But let's move on to extreme softball.
I was going to say, by the weather, you could assume it's still basketball season.
You might want to go back into the gym right now. But Alexis, you are the catcher on the extreme, right?
Yes.
So as you are the catcher, is that the only position you play on the team?
No, I also play third and outfield.
Okay. So tell us a little bit over at Cheyenne East. Again, you're a sophomore there. Is there a favorite subject that you have in school?
I really like Spanish a lot.
Okay.
All right.
I believe you.
So as we talk about Cheyenne Extreme, though, at least our understanding, fifth season with the Extreme, but what got you into at least softball? What kind of sparked your curiosity? What made you go out for the Cheyenne Extreme in place of softball?
Growing up, my parents have always been huge baseball fans, so I did play baseball for a year, but I was tired of playing on a boys' team, so I decided to join the rec league here. And then I had a friend introduce me to the Extreme team, so I went and tried out, and I made it, and I really enjoyed it, so I just kept going from there.
Now, as a catcher, and I've caught, my daughter caught, and she played in the rec league.
And also, too, before you get on to your question, we'll ask Alexis to get a little closer to that mic as well, too, so folks can hear you as well, so you can scoot on up.
But as a catcher, you are the eyes for everybody in the field because you see everything that goes on, including the pitch from the pitcher. And again, you got to direct everybody, let everybody know what's going on. Tell us a little bit how you became the catcher.
Well, it all started when I was also a catcher in baseball. I caught a couple times, and I wanted to get really good at it. So I put in a lot of time to do drills and just condition and all of that. And I had a bunch of help from my parents, coaches, and all of that, and I just really enjoyed it, so I just kept on going from there.
Now, the one thing, too, especially being a catcher, you got to keep your eye over on first base if somebody gets on base because, 9 out of 10 times they're off and running. So tell us a little bit about the arm. I would assume that your pops works with you on developing that cannon to throw it straight down to second base?
Well, our catching coach, Michael Galicia, he also helps a lot. We do a lot of throw-down drills, and they really help out a lot. It really shows.
Do you do a lot of weight training, too, to, kind of strengthen yourself?
I'm in a weights class at school.
Okay.
So at least developing like that. Now, as a starting catcher right now for the Cheyenne Extreme, obviously you got some time to play with the Extreme, time for high school to figure out a few things before kind of moving to that secondary level. But is this something that for you, Alexis, right now, looking into the future, would you like to continue being a catcher for whether it is a JUCO D1 program? do you kind of see yourself, or at least hoping to continue this in a collegiate kind of play style?
Yeah, I hope I can hopefully take my catching skills and take it up to the next level in college.
You know, one thing I look at when I see catchers, and you know, obviously I've done this myself too. Do you look over when you're out on the field? Do you look over to your coaches for a pitch? Do they help you on pitches, or do you call the pitches for your pitcher?
He calls them, and then I just give them to her.
And then do you have certain signs that you set up for inside, outside, and whatever pitch you want to throw?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you set up any goals for yourself this season for the Cheyenne Extreme, whether it is, you know, trying to get so many, you know, picking off so many at least base runners to second, getting a high batting average? Have you set any goals for yourself for the Cheyenne Extreme this season?
I've set a couple goals. One of my goals is to hopefully get faster behind that plate, because right now I'm a little slow.
Now, Coach mentioned this. You know, you went down to Loveland this past weekend, and you saw some really good talent. Did you get that barometer of where you need to take your game a little bit?
Yeah, I got a little irritated because I know I could have done better, but I guess I was just having an off day that day.
Well, you know, and off days happen, but you know, what did you see from those A-teamers down there that behind the dish? What did you learn from them?
That they have the potential to do better things, and I just need to learn to cope with that and just step up my level.
Well, it is an early season right now, so again, plenty to learn throughout at least your time there with the Cheyenne Extreme. Something that we asked Jordan Harris, and we'll ask you as well, Alexis. As kind of softball, especially on the collegiate side, has kind of become mainstream where you can watch it on ESPN, or at least it's available to watch. Are you one of those folks as well to kind of tune in and watch and kind of learn from the D1 levels of, oh, okay, so this is how they do in catching or how they're hitting? Do you find yourself kind of watching often collegiate softball?
Yeah, I do watch a bunch of videos, and I do watch some college games to just kind of learn from them.
All righty, well, we want to thank you for joining us again, Alexis Naughton, who is the catcher for the Cheyenne Extreme. We are going to take a timeout. We'll be back after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
We're starting our 14th year, and we still believe in putting you first by making it easy to own a new Kia vehicle. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Sportage for less than Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Ford Escape. The 2019 Kia Sportage comes standard with power adjustable rear view mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Band High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength, For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a 6-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, cloudy with snow. Expected daytime high of 31. New snow accumulation 2 to 4 inches possible. Snow likely for tonight with our low down to 28 degrees. New snow accumulation 3 to 5 inches possible. For Tuesday, cloudy with the rain and snow showers mixed. We're calling for a daytime high of 39. And for Tuesday night, we're calling for cloudy skies with a chance of rain and snow mixed. Our low down to 28 degrees.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. I think you made a very good point, Nick. Well, here we are. It's Wyoming. It's snowing, and might as well put everything indoors. So we might as well kick back and watch some NBA playoffs for tonight.
I already got my feeling last night with, or at least
Warriors in Houston?
Yeah. Where now we have controversy brewing a bit where
it's turned into a rivalry now. This is really turning into a bitter rivalry. 4 seasons in a row now they've met.
It's a how do I put this lightly? It is a back and forth kind of just argument. At least it is. Right now, you have two teams that are, again, I obviously fans of the Warriors, not going to speak too badly about this team, but, right now we had 4 interesting no calls potentially in game 1. The most, at least, spotlighted was Draymond kind of running into James Harden, where James Harden eventually at least fell, hit the court, which was kind of argued as a big blown missed call from game number 1. Warriors did go on and win that contest. They're in the waning seconds. Steph Curry 3 that eventually vaulted the Warriors to get game 1 victory. But right now, it is definitely a rivalry, a big time rivalry at least in the Western Conference. It is so big of a rivalry that here we are today, and it just came out maybe about an hour or so ago that apparently the Houston Rockets in Game 7 filed a complaint, sent it to the NBA. Where they thought that there were so many blown calls, so it was so against the Houston Rockets that officials prevented them from potentially winning the NBA championship. And there's no guarantee that they would have, if they moved on, that they would have won the NBA championship. They thought they could have, and probably they should have as well. But
the West was going to win no matter what last year.
We're talking about right now where here it is, that series is dead. It is in the past. Warriors are back-to-back champions. Houston, you had to lick your wounds and move on, and now you got to take them on again. But Game 7, though, going back where Chris Paul was out for that contest, I think it came out about, there were findings, investigations about Game 7 where the league came out, or at least whoever was investigating said, yeah, there was about 81 blown calls, or at least infractions. Officials did at least blow it in that game. Did it cost Rockets? Again, that's to be debatable at this point, but seeing that today, though, it shows that this is very deep-rooted. Also, too, it's a little of whining a bit from the Houston Rockets of, then what's your solution then?
Well,
is it something that, do we need officials in this game? It does bring up that question of, do we need more officials on the court? Do we even need officials at all at this point?
We need another pair of eyes. We need 4 officials out there, and you put them 2 and 2.
But I thought it was convenient that now here we are in the Houston Golden State Part 2. Granted, this is in the semis, not in the Western Conference Final, but it is something that it came out today. Again, like I said, a few hours ago, at least after eve of Game 1 between these two, where Game 7 was this apparent. It was apparently Game 7 was against the Houston Rockets due to the officiating. Here's their findings.
And where was Game 7 held at?
It was in Houston.
At the Toyota Center.
Yeah.
Wow. See, again, you and me could sit here and we could whine about Game 5 in Oakland when Draymond Green got suspended in the second year. I mean, we're talking about the Warriors could be going for their fifth. The Warriors could go for their fifth consecutive championship.
We were complaining about that series. We were complaining about, during that series and maybe a month or two afterwards. We weren't bringing it up a year after where things were set in stone that Cleveland has won it and everything of going, well, all right, here's our investigation, here's our findings. Yes, we should have moved on. Well, guess what? You didn't. It's in the history books that you lost in Game 7 of the Golden State Warriors. They moved on, they beat the Cavaliers, and they won the NBA championship. You didn't. You have to move on. If anything, for Houston Rockets, for that team, you use that to feel and put that hatred and that anger towards this series where, guess what? You got round 2 now. You got another opportunity.
What is Houston basically saying? The Warriors are a dirty team?
This is about what, round 3?
I know, but are the Rockets saying the Warriors are a dirty team?
No, I think what that finding came out more than anything was saying that, is it something that the officials are in favor of the Warriors? Are the officials trying to, make sure that the Warriors are moving on and winning championships?
I would think the league's against them. I thought they were all for Cleveland.
It seemed like the league is always for LeBron, not just Cleveland. It's just more so for LeBron James.
Here's something that kind of strikes a chord. Chris Paul has been fined $35,000 for aggressively confronting and recklessly making contact with the game official.
Yeah.
The NBA announced he will not be suspended. Now, if that was Draymond Green,
he'd be suspended.
He'd be suspended.
He definitely has that target on his back. But, again, what the Rockets did of bringing this out in light, kind of, again, it is very whiny. It is very whiny of, hey, move on. Move on at this point. You can't rewrite history. It's the same vein of where we were at with the Saints and the Rams. Of, hey, they made a mistake. Clearly it was a big mistake, but you got to move on. It's official in the books. It's the same thing as what we just saw in the NHL with the Vegas Golden Knights, where the league came out the next day and said, yes, we messed up. Those officials were wrong. Those officials will not continue in round number 2 or out throughout the entirety of the playoffs. They address that, but it happens. And guess what? If you're the Vegas Golden Knights, yes, you simmer on this for quite some time, but you move on because guess what? The Sharks have moved on, and now they're taking on the Avalanche. They got to focus on this series where Vegas, you are on the outside looking in. All you can do is, again, move on and use that, if anything, to maybe feel the fire for once you see the Sharks.
Well, and here's something for Silver now to really figure out. And again, where you and me and more, and I brought this up to you.
I think, is it a question that do we need to investigate officials now? Is it something where it's happened before where, again, we've found out that NBA officials have been betting or at least were favoriting teams to at least in their benefit.
That was one.
Well, what could one mean there were more?
Well, listen to this.
Maybe he was dumb enough to get caught, and others were very smart not to. But, I mean, is this something that the NBA now has to take a look at, or is it something that the league has to start investigating?
I still think they need to put an extra set of eyes out there. That's my opinion. But here, the referees got...
But this is just, that again, not to cut you off, as you're getting a little pouting and whatnot, but, for Game 7... You have nothing to say, but for Game 7 of last year's series of the Western Conference Final, they found all this investigating, but what about other games that the Rockets were competing in? Were there blown calls for those other teams that they got to their series? Were there blown calls in their series with Utah? I mean, right now, I don't think that Houston's the perfect team where they're getting called for everything. I think they probably skate by a lot of things. And we saw it a few instances during the regular season of missed calls where, hey, that was blatant, but Houston got away with it.
Right.
But it's definitely not a one-way street for the Rockets where you're walking a fine line here of complaining about Game 7, but what if other teams start going against you going, well, here's Game 5 of or Game 4 here in the Utah Jazz series against Houston from this past year or going back to last year. We felt we were wronged in that by the officiating. Yeah, there were 80 calls or 80 infractions missed by that officiating crew where Utah should have been moving on or whoever should have been moving on, not Houston.
But you got to ask the question. The question is this. And this is the same thing that we see when we go up to Casper and high school. And again, this is, apples and oranges. The games are an hour and a half as opposed to an hour 45. Okay? Everything is kind of let go unless it's a flagrant foul. So the question is...
They kind of let them play basketball.
That's right. The officials try to let little things go. Matter of fact, it says right here, the referees got 2 no calls correct in the final seconds of the Warriors' win over the Rockets, according to a review by the league.
Yeah.
But 3 calls that were deemed incorrect that went against the Rockets will only increase the furor from Houston, especially because the league ruled that Steph Curry should have fouled out with a $1:10 left. Curry instead stayed in the game, hit a crucial three-pointer with 24 seconds left. The NBA's official last 2-minute report said that Curry got away with a personal foul on Harden on a play that ended in a turnover with the Rockets down 195 when Harden stepped out of bounds after making contact with Curry. But again, it begs the question. Now again, am I glad the Warriors won? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But the question is, do we want the game to be coming down to a snail's pace on every call?
Again, 80 missed calls in Game 7 in total, 80 times of stoppages, or at least here's potential free throws, here's reviews, here's whatever.
Everybody wants a foul call on them. I mean, anytime you drive inside the lane and you miss the shot.
The NBA right now as a league, as an association of where if Houston's complaining about this and if that's what the league wants to go to make sure that we have every call right, then we're getting into the territory of the NFL where NFL is at ridiculous level of penalties, stoppages of times. It's near pathetic. It's to the point where me as a fan of football in general, at least with the NFL, where for the past couple seasons, I've distanced myself from the NFL where I could care less. I'm more on the XFL where they're saying, hey, we're not going to have those stoppages. We're going to play football and make the games quicker. I'm all for that. I've been on the bandwagon for XFL once they said those key words because I've been seeing the slow trend that is the NFL right now, the train wreck that is the NFL with these penalties where it has gotten to the point where we can't, even championship games are in controversy. Everyone is complaining about something, but it is the NBA, and I think the NBA needs to be very aware of this, of where do we want to get to the NFL territory of, yes, we gotta make sure every call is right. We got to make sure that we have the stoppages of play, that we have those free throws. Or do we let them play basketball? Simplified basketball. These are grown, big, strong men. Again, it is a sport that is bigger, stronger, faster. Let them play like that. It's a lot different than the 60s. Here it is in 2019. They're bigger, stronger, and faster. It's going to be a little bit more physical, and things are going to quicken the pace that, yeah, you might miss a lot of calls. It's going to happen. So, but they're playing basketball.
So what are the Rockets, what are they looking for? Are they looking for the officials to do make goods in game 2?
Well, you want to put an asterisk on the NBA championship of saying Golden State did win it, but actually it should have been awarded to us.
We got jobbed in our own building.
I mean, is that what the Rockets want at this point?
Yeah, I like I said, I'm so sick.
I think it's pathetic of what they're trying to do,
and again,
right
Chris
now.
Paul was very flagrant in what he did. He didn't get suspended.
Yeah.
Draymond Green did. So we should go and throw the big gauntlet over Silver's head.
And again, that's an official.
Yeah.
He did that against an official. Usually that means you are tossed. That means you are suspended because, again, that is not a player. That's an official representing the NBA that you're not allowed to touch. We see it in other leagues where NHL, if you contact with those referees.
Major League Baseball, you bump umpire, boom.
Yeah, you're gone. So right now it is something where Rockets, you need to make sure that this is something you want to pursue.
Well, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. That's what they're doing right now.
Absolutely right now. And it's something that is, for me, as what NBA has become, or at least what it potentially could, if NBA starts investigating this or starts to make sure that we are getting all 81 calls, at least making sure that is taken care of in an NBA game, That's not basketball I want to watch anymore then. I don't want to see those stoppages. I'm not saying that basketball's long as is, but we've seen those games. We've seen it here in town. We've seen it here with the local JUCO product with LCCC of when you get those games, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
It's terrible basketball. It takes away from the players.
And, I don't want to be lame about this, but, hey, no blood, no foul. Let's play basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, quit whining about everything. And
Is that where we're at in the NBA?
The Rockets are the biggest whiners.
Oh, yeah.
They are. Paul, Harden. I mean, let's be real. Harden wants to foul every time he's got the basketball. But on the other side of the coin, so does KD.
Yeah.
Every time KD drives a lane, he wants to foul.
Is NBA right now a soft league? Are we dealing with soft players, so to speak? Are we dealing with drama queens, so to speak, in the NBA?
B.
And I think that is a reality right now where, I all respect to Draymond Green. He might be the hated player around the league or at least around the nation, but I respect the heck out of that guy because he plays that old school basketball.
And he's aggressive.
He's aggressive. He speaks his mind. He taunts on that court. And let's be honest. We see that in high school. I think again, high school to college to whatever, you'll see players taunt. That's part of the game. Deal with it. Yeah. If your feelings are hurt by that, then don't play sports. Because it's going to happen in hockey, it's going to happen in baseball. There's taunting all the time. Deal with it. Deal with it in other ways. If it hurts your feelings, go find something. Go knit or something. I don't know, but it is something where I respect Draymond Green. I understand the hate that he gets, but also I respect the guy because, again, he plays old school, hard-nosed basketball. He's out there to just play the game and not deal with anything. He's aggressive. He speaks his mind. And for that, it is something where I see the reflections of old school basketball where they were doing that back in the day. Go back to the 90s with Charles Barkley, Shaq getting into it, all those big names where they were aggressive, Patrick Ewing, those fights and all that stuff. Granted, I don't want fisticuffs on the court.
How about Bill Laimbeer and the Detroit Pistons?
Yeah.
They were the dirtiest team in basketball, yet they won 2 straight championships.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Greg Popovich. Now, the Spurs suffered through an odd, erratic season filled with injuries, strife, and drama before a second straight ouster from the playoffs in the first round. Popovich enjoyed it so much that he's coming back for a 24th season as the head man.
He's got nothing better to do.
How about this? And this is interesting. You don't even fathom this, that he has won 1,245 games in his career with San Antonio.
It's been a quiet 1,200.
It's the third most in NBA history behind Don Nelson, former Warriors coach.
Oh, yeah.
And Celtics coach, and Lenny Wilkins. And matter of fact, here's another thing about the Spurs, and you tip your cap to this franchise. They have reached the playoffs the last 22 seasons, a streak that ties for the longest in NBA history. 22.
Well, I think last year,
years.
Broke a streak of about over a decade of where
he got ousted in the first round.
Well, not even that. It was more so of regular season wins where they were below 50 wins for the first time in well over a decade in Spurs history. That just tells you of how good of a head coach he is, of how phenomenal Greg Popovich is and what he does to elevate those Spurs teams. That's why in this first round series, it went to Game 7. Does not surprise me between the Nuggets and Spurs that it went to Game 7 because you can't disrespect a Spurs team. Whatever seed that they are in, whether it's 8-1, it is always a formidable threat. It is always a team that, even as Warrior fans, where you got to eventually see, if you have to see the Spurs, you're always biting your nails because you don't want to face that team because they're always going to put up a good fight. And they did. And again, I respect the Spurs of what they did to the Denver Nuggets. I think, if anything, that's beneficial for the Denver Nuggets coming up against Portland, as much as that's going to be a tough series for them. But
who wins it?
Something tells me this Portland-Denver should go 7. That should go 7 once again.
And a lot of the experts are, I don't want to say experts, but a lot of them are going in favor of Portland.
Yeah, I think
7 games.
Yeah, I think Portland Trailblazers should get it done in 7. They're playing phenomenal basketball. But I think going 7 games, though, with the Spurs, a young Denver Nuggets team, an inexperienced Nuggets team, that did worlds of wonder for the Denver Nuggets, though, of getting prepared to move on in these playoffs if they do.
And they almost coughed up Game 7. I mean, they were well in control up until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they almost let that one slip.
But, home court advantage in favor of the Nuggets. They can't lose any games that they can. That's the bottom line if they're going to win this series.
I think Portland takes not necessarily Game 1, but they'll take one at Pepsi Center. I have confidence that Portland will do that. This might be a series where you might see splits at home, where Portland comes in, gets 1, Denver goes in the Moda Center, gets 1, and then we have a little fun with the remaining 3. But I think it goes 7 games. And I say Portland just has enough firepower, has enough superstar power with Damian Lillard of what he's doing. Again, Damian is on a whole nother level of what he's been throughout his playoff kind of career. He is elevated his playoff, at least basketball, to new to new heights where he doesn't seem like he's going to slow down. Now
what about Steady Eddie Jokic? Jokic was good. I really liked his play, and again too, the passes that he throws. I mean, the guy could be a quarterback in the NFL. He throws so good.
Yeah.
So he elevated Murray's game.
He's a superstar in the NBA. Granted, he might not be seen as that across the league where you do have other big names, but he is certainly someone you do have to respect for the Denver Nuggets. But Portland, I just think they have way too many weapons. Granted, I said that was San Antonio, but I think Portland's in a different elevation right now of what they did against Oklahoma City Thunder. That really impressed me. Portland impressed me in that first-round series with the Thunder. And I think Damian Lillard's play, where he's at right now, I think that's enough to carry this Trailblazers team past the Denver Nuggets. I think they're playing that good where I think Portland is a team, not necessarily of destiny, but I think this is that year where they finally get over these schneids and get into the Western Conference Finals. I think they'll eventually have to take on the Warriors, and Warriors will move past, but you might see Warriors versus Portland where that series might go 7 games. It might be very interesting to watch.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors-Rockets series goes 6-7 games. Would not surprise me to see the Nuggets and the Trailblazers go 7. I think the Nuggets do it just simply for the fact that they will not be beaten the can by Portland.
They will.
I think the Nuggets can still win in the Moda Center.
That's what I'm saying. I think both teams are going to split at home. Absolutely. I think you will see in Game 5 it'll be 2-2 series tied. And whatever team shows up there in their home courts where Nuggets are going to have 2 at the Pepsi Center they'll have 2 at the Pepsi Can, and then Moda Center will only see 1 with the Portland Trailblazers in Game 6. But it is a very good possibility. Game 5 will be tied 2-2. I think that's going to be I think that will be actuality.
All right, well, looking forward to that series, and it gets underway beginning tonight.
That should be a bloodbath.
All right, we got to wrap things up. I didn't realize how late it was, and it is time to remind you that we have our Golden Age Radio Theater back again for this. It's snowing outside.
It never went away.
It's cold. No, it's on Monday through Thursday. So you might want to cuddle up to the radio and listen to Sherlock Holmes ×2 from 8 until 9 and from 9 until 10. It's Suspense Theater.
And if you want to know what programs are playing,
guess what?
Finally, the 1480 KRAE website is back up. Yes, 1480KRAE.com. Again, whether it is Golden Age of Radio, Hope for Today, Wyoming Sports Talk Today, all those entities have been updated. I got them all taken care of as of today. So, again, programs, what are upcoming for this week for Golden Age of Radio, just go there to 1480KRAE.com, go into the programming guide, search for Golden Age of Radio, and that's where you can find all that information. So, again, the website is finally back up.
Drive home safely. Roads are starting to slicken up a little bit, and we want to